Guys, Paul Maynard, your visual marketing artist extraordinaire. I'm in a property getting ready to shoot. Just want to go over a couple things. When to prep your property. Now this is great if you're selling a property, if you have a VRBO, an Airbnb, and this is for photos, okay? Nothing else. So one of the first things that I do is when I walk into a property is I'm going to check the blinds. Okay, it's really important to have these type of blinds flat like this. You don't want to have them. The one thing you want to keep in mind is because all the light's going to come on into the house and really brighten up the room. If you have the sun on that side and it's showing some hot spots along the ground here, then one of the things you want to do is take the blinds and you turn them up like this a little bit. And what you do is you watch that light, that hot spot in the ground, and you turn these until the hot spot is gone. Now what's great about turning these up is that when the light comes in, it's gonna go up towards the ceiling and it's gonna bounce off the ceiling below and light everything up. But initially what you wanna do is you wanna keep all of the blinds open like that. It lets in so much more light. You saw the light change on my face as it happened. The next thing that I'm doing is when I'm looking in here is I'm making sure that every single light is on. So anything with a light bulb should be turned on. Now this particular property has a ceiling fan. So you'll want to make sure that the ceiling fan is off because in HDR photography, you don't want anything that's turning whatsoever. Now something in the kitchen that I notice, and there's little things that are going to make a really big difference. So when I first walk in and I see this sliding glass door that you see behind me, the screen is pulled out a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that I push that screen over because it's going to look clean. It's going to look consistent with everything else. I wish they would have shoveled the deck. I won't have time to do that, plus I don't have a shovel in my car. In the kitchen, you know, I'm looking underneath, making sure if there's any lights underneath there. If you have any lights there, you definitely want to turn those on. You always want to turn on the microwave light. You always want to make sure that this light above the sink is on. And I'm going to fix this blind. It's going to be a little bit harder with one hand. But one thing I want to point out too is at the sink, you have some of the stoppers and the thing to cover your disposal with. You always want to hide these things. These are little tiny things that make a big difference. Also, if your faucet is turned, really want to make sure that your faucet is straight. Little tiny things. Other things I'm looking for too is if there's anything on the refrigerator, and I'm looking for reflections as well. They've staged this property. It looks really nice. I'm coming down here, and oh, here's another thing. All right, I'm going to point this out to you. See that light over there? See that right there? You see the seam in the light? You never want to show a seam in your photography, ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that seam is opposite of where I'm going to be shooting. Because when you see those seams, it's very amateur looking. The other thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to fix these wires a little bit. They bug me a little. I may not be able to do anything with it. Yeah, because it's... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this wire up. It's stuck behind this painting. That doesn't look very good. If there's a gas fireplace, you definitely want to turn the gas fireplace on because that's going to make it look so much nicer in your photography in the end. Now, when I'm going into the bathroom, I don't know if you can see this, but you see I can see my reflection in there. That is something I'm going to want to keep an eye on. Now, when I turn the light on, I don't see a lot of reflection. One of the things that I can do, I'm not going to be able to really do this in this house, is that if there were window coverings on this slider, I would close that, because if I can darken the room up, then my reflection is going to be gone. So I'm not going to be able to. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring my camera in really tight up against the jamb here, and I got to make sure that I show the sink, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I don't see my reflection in those tiles there. It's really important that you do not see that. So let's take a really quick walk upstairs. This is a tri-level property, and I'm looking around and I'm going to make sure all the lights are on. Everything with a light bulb we want to turn on. Again, I got another one of those properties or bathrooms that has a really reflective tiles. Now in a master bedroom, one of my shots I want to make sure that I do is that I'm going to get not only the master bedroom, but I'm going to get that master bathroom as well. One thing I don't notice that I notice, okay, so here's something I want to point out here. See the two different lights? See that? That's terrible. That's going to look so bad in the end. I'm going to see if I can find another light bulb to even that out, because again, that's amateur. That's amateur. There's something else that I look for as well, and most properties have this. Most properties will have a Kleenex box on the nightstand. If it's just a cardboard Kleenex box, don't put those out. Go to the dollar store and go get some fancy, not fancy, just something that covers up that Kleenex box to make it look a little bit nicer. Little tiny touches like that make a giant, giant difference in your property photography. It just makes it look like you went a little extra further. Those little tiny steps go a long way. You can increase your property values. You can get more money for your rentals. Just these little tiny things, and especially in your photography, because a lot of property photography out there is just awful. So take the extra time, go the extra mile to make it look a little bit nicer than what you would normally do, and do these little tiny things. So that's just really what I'm doing to prep a house, prep a property, whether it's for real estate, whether it's for VRBO, Airbnb. I'm looking in the backyard right now. Not a whole lot of stuff that I'm going to move out there. So anyway, do these little tiny things. They'll make a really giant difference in getting your more people to look at your listing, your Airbnb, your vacation property, your VRBO, your timeshare, whatever that might be. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you find value in this, please share this. If I can help you in any way, if I can share any more information with you to help you get more money for your property, please let me know. My name is Paul Maynard from Colorful, Colorado, your visual marketing artist extraordinaire. Take care. Talk to you soon.